Good morning, adventurers. My name is Ben, and welcome to a morning show where I sit around, drink some tea, and talk about D&D. So, first up, for T&D today, we have the Gave Me Cookie, Got You Cookie mug that I got for my fiance, because it's one of her absolute favorite scenes in New Girl, and is hilarious, obviously. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I love it, and we all love it. Whatever, right? Yeah, it's great. Inside of it, I have some Tension Tamer tea from Celestial Seasonings because I had to work at 3 different places today doing 3 different things, so my brain is a little bit on the fried side. So I'm trying to like get it back a little bit, get it back into normal sort of lines here, because it is a little bit all over the place right now. So, moving on from that, obviously, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. But, first, let's address a kind of divergence, I guess, from tradition. Today, the day that you are watching this video, Call of the Netherdeep is out. The most recent 5th edition book. It is the first Critical Role adventure module. They had the Explorer's Guide to Wildmount. They are having Call of the Netherdeep this time. I'm very excited about it. But obviously, I'm not talking about that today. I will instead be talking about it tomorrow because of the way that I am now recording these episodes and whatnot. So it is coming. I promise. I'm sorry I can't give it to you today. In order to get everything like processed right, it takes like an hour for my computer to do because I'm working on a very old computer. So I need to not try and do that the morning of, because that will take forever and I have to be at work early tomorrow morning. So I can't stay up late to read through part of it tonight. So you'll be getting it tomorrow. One day later, I think we'll be okay. I am still expecting to do the full sort of rundown of it on Friday, so stay tuned for that. It'll be good, but you'll get your first look tomorrow, Wednesday. Thank you very much. Bless you all. Also, just real quick, big thank you to all of you guys because consistently for about 2 weeks now, I have had at least 30 daily consumers of this show. One way or another, every new episode on the first day will get 30 or more consumptions, I guess, either downloads in podcast form or views on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for that. Thank you so much for the continued support because it really does mean a lot. It makes it feel like I'm doing something that's worthwhile, and so I'm really glad that you guys are enjoying it. Now we go to the anyway. Let's get to what we're talking about, because today we're talking about something that I just did very recently, and that is building a welcome packet for a new group. I am, for the first time in several years now, starting up a new table with experienced players, but a new group composition. I'm excited because it's going to be an all-in-person game, and I haven't had one of those in a while now. Thanks COVID. But I am very excited to get to play with these people. They're my friends that I have played with intermittently in the past, but I'm excited to start a full group with them. But what that means is you got to do all the new campaign stuff. And so today we are specifically talking about why you should put together a welcome packet for your new group, because I think it's really worthwhile. And I'm going to tell you guys what is in my welcome packet so that if you want to use the same thing, you can put together a welcome packet of your own. Okay, so let's start just from the top. Let's start from the top, right? Why not? So I called the welcome packet "Greetings, Adventurer" with an exclamation point because that sounds fun and whatnot. I guess actually it's important to note that before I sent this packet out to them, I had sent out a mini survey that was like, hey, what tone of game are you looking for? What difficulty of game are you looking for? What roleplay to combat ratio are you looking for? Just so that I could have like a good feel about where everybody's at ahead of time. And they picked, the scale went from Dark Souls to Looney Tunes. They picked right in the middle. there for tone. So Greetings Adventurer felt like a pretty safe bet. It wasn't like, come cursed one, or, well, hey there, time to go mess some people up. So Greetings Adventurer is like an intro note that is kind of in character. I framed it kind of like a like the intro to Kingdom Hearts almost, or like a Final Fantasy type thing, where like it is told as it is from the creator, me, in this case, to the player themselves, not necessarily to the character, but describing that they will be creating a character to exist within this world. They've all played D&D before, they know all this stuff, but it's a cool like sort of tone setting thing to try and get them in the same headspace that I am in as I approach this. I spent like an hour on it, and it is a page long, like double spaced, and so I spent so much time on it because I was trying to get actual information into it while maintaining the language that I was using and making it a thing that would actually be worth reading for them. And so I threw a bunch of stuff in there, essentially, that was like, hey, play the character you want to play. We're going to be using Tasha's rules. We're going to be using this sort of party composition. Don't worry about party composition, blah, blah, blah. Then, on the next page of it, I said, to put it plainly, and I went into like a meta-game, meta-knowledge kind of rundown of how I wanted them to create a character, how I wanted them to go about rolling ability scores, what things were on the table, what things were off the table, some of the restrictions that I wanted to have them to have in place for their backstory. I laid out the way that I like to do backstories, which I believe I've talked about on this recently, actually, but real quick. It is that they send me a very generalized backstory with no hyper specifics in there, but they're like, I want to be part of a noble family from a fishing village or something like that. And then I send them stuff back from the world that's like, hey, these are the places that you can pick from. These are like names that are important. Please add any additional details that you want from there. That way that they're at least grounded in the world that I am going to give them, without having to give them a full world map right away. Pro tip right there. You just need to know a couple of towns in order to be able to do that. And then they get back to me with their finalized backstory, with the requirement, for me at least, that they have one living NPC that they have a good relationship with and defining that relationship, one living NPC that they have a bad relationship with and defining that relationship, and then a specific item, like hyper specific, that is not magical, that they are very, very much endeared to for one reason or another, and why they care about it so much. That is my favorite way to do backstory stuff if I'm doing a backstory heavy campaign, which I will always do pretty much if I am running a longer term campaign. I think it's just more interesting for the players to deal with that way. In addition to that, in this welcome packet, there was a digital RPG consent list, one that was shared with me by Brooklyn Tuesday. It is the actual digital consent checklist is from the TTRPG Safety Toolkit, and it was adapted from the RPG Consent Checklist that appears in the Consent in Gaming supplement by Sean K. Reynolds and Shanna Germain, published by Monty Cook Games. I wanted to make sure that I got the super specific one that I was using in there. It's really good. I think that it really covers like a big sort of swath of stuff, which is great. That is exactly what you want out of that sort of thing. Just to make sure that everybody's comfortable. We're all friends already, but we want to make sure we don't send anybody into like a spiral if I throw everybody into a pit of spiders and somebody is terrified of spiders and I don't know that for some reason. That's what it's for. You don't want to cross a boundary that you are suddenly unaware of. In addition to that, I provided Hero Forge links so that they could share with me their Hero Forge characters as they made them, if they wanted to do that. Otherwise, I asked them to give me like good descriptions or something like that. And I had the link to our D&D Beyond campaign in there because, I mean, D&D Beyond is a good kind of, it's a really helpful tool. I wish that I could get sponsored by them because I use it so much, but I will plug it regardless because I think it's super useful if you have put in, obviously, the investment to getting all of the content on there. So in addition to all of that, I I hid little things in there, and I don't think any of them are people that consistently watch these videos or listen to these episodes. So I'm okay with telling you guys a little bit about what I threw in there. I threw in some clues about what I want the campaign to be about. I have conceived of, I think, the general overall storyline. And I say general because I do always try to like weave the character backstories into my overall storyline, because like the storyline is going to be bigger if it's a long-term campaign than like the childhood bully of whoever one of the player characters is. But I want them to have an actual stake in it. I want them to feel like they care about what is going on. So I threw a couple of little clues in there. I also put the offer to homebrew some stuff for them if they wanted to in there. And I think most importantly, one of the things that I alluded to and have since clarified, as each of them have asked me individually what class they should be playing, what other people want to be playing, that I don't really care about party balance. Party balance is important, don't get me wrong, but I might make an episode of this on this at some point here. Party balance is something that you can solve after the fact. You don't have to come out the gate with, you know, a cleric, a rogue, and a barbarian. Like, that's not a requirement. Cleric, rogue, fighter, and wizard. There we go. Those are the four archetypes essentially. I've only got 3 people in this game, so I had to go with 3. But like, they have asked me back and forth. 2 of them are interested in playing bards. 1 of them is interested in a wizard or a ranger, and I I essentially said, play whatever you want to play. I'm not going to stop you. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what you can and can't play. I will maybe float you a recommendation to not be all super squishy, but like, I'm not going to stop you either. Like, if that's the game you want to play, that's the game you want to play. And they all rated on their initial scale, part of this welcome packet, that they are more interested in a roleplay focused game than a combat focused game. So honestly, like, while there will be combats, I'm not looking to have combat be the driving story feature of this campaign. So that is up to them, and ultimately I will help them solidify their characters and do what they want to do with it, because I mean, that's kind of my job as a DM. I am excited to get to play with these people because they are all experienced, and they have all shown a lot of excitement and interest since I started to put this together. And I got some really awesome responses from distributing this welcome packet, which is why I'm even talking about it on here. It seems like a really random episode to just have thrown out there, but I hadn't done this before, and I had like this weird inclination to do it. And I'm really glad that I did it because they loved it. They were super excited about it, and they wanted to. It's made me want to push the game forward a little bit faster. Obviously, I wanted to get it moving from the beginning because I'm the one that was organizing it. But like, it made me want to do it more, even. You know. Let's see what else is in here real quick, just to make sure that I hit on everything. That is pretty much all of it, honestly. I'm not going to share the full the packet as like a link or anything like that, because it was something that I wrote for a home campaign, and there is a little bit more specific stuff in there than I should probably be sharing about these other people on the internet. But it's something I'm really excited about. I'm excited to get to play. I'm excited that this has gone over well. I highly recommend trying it out. Even just the opening letter, if not the rest of it. The rest of it is like a supplement to a session 0, essentially, and that I think is a really good thing. But the opening letter was really fun because it made me sit down and like try to think about what I wanted the story to turn into. Some of the things I wanted to communicate to the players, but wanted it to be like this ethereal sort of being speaking to another ethereal sort of being that would speak into creation, this character that they would play, this vessel, as I referred to it a few different times. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, like, it was something that really sort of got the juices flowing in my head as I sat down and started to really sort of plot out this campaign. I'll probably give you guys updates on it as we go here, because with only 3 people, it moves, storyline moves pretty quick as compared to a larger party, because you only have to hold on to the 3 balloons instead of the 6 or 8 or 10 balloons that you might have going. If you have 10 players, God bless you, because that is crazy. So yeah, put together a welcome packet for your players. It's a lot of fun, and you know, it's a cool little thing. Plus, now that I have that, I can recycle at least the document part of it for most campaigns moving forward. Like, honestly, I really can. Like, it's got all the information I want to communicate prior to session 0, so that they can ask me questions in session 0 about some of that stuff. So like, I'm down for just reusing that bit over and over again and just rewriting the letter as needed. But hey, I just like recycling stuff because then it makes less work for me in the future. So that is everything I have to talk to you guys about on that front. Moving on to what shows we have coming out today. It is Tuesday, which means that we have a slightly shorter list, but still hefty enough. Diary of a Dragon Pit, Star Wars First Resistance. Again, they're using SW5E rules. Dungeons and Daddies, Bombarded, Hekva D&D, Glass Cannon, and The Queer Casters. Check them out, please. Let them know that I sent you. Every one of these shows that I've gotten to check out have been really, really fun to watch. I am trying my hardest to get like up to date on all of these different shows that I keep telling you guys about, because I truly believe that if I'm plugging them, I should be checking them out as well. And so I've watched at least an episode here or there of each one of these, and it's obviously a lot of content. But hey, if you got some openings in your schedule, check them out, because they do really good work. People are putting in a lot of good work with this sort of thing. But that is everything I have to talk to you guys about today. Thank you so very much for making me part of your morning routine. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much in particular to my patrons. You guys are the ones that make this show possible. If you are interested in becoming a patron of this show, go ahead and check out the link in the description of this episode. And come back tomorrow so that you can see what Call of the Netherdeep is all about. But until then, don't forget, drink tea, play D&D, and keep on rolling.